Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to do a quick video on Saul, Saul in the Bible. Now guess what the fuck I found out? Saul is actually the name of hell. Okay? It's not hell for real. Okay? It's his name, whatever the fuck that kingdom down there is Saul. Okay? He's hell. Okay? Like the universe. Well, Saul is hell, okay? So I'm going to read to y'all, okay? And some Bible verses that I found, okay? I found a lot, so I'm going to try to read them all. If not, then y'all can read some on your own, okay? Just type in Saul Bible verses. A lot gonna pull up. He's in every, he like mixed up in the Bible and shit, so, you know. Anyway, so Saul, Hebrew, Shaul, Shaul, see? Hell, Saul them. Flourished 11th century BCE Israel. First king of Israel, 1021 through 1000 BCE, before Christ. See, I guess he was created then, or like I said, they were supposed to be in hell. They were supposed to be in Saul, but they trapped me in it. So that would, remember I told y'all I got trapped in the game, I got trapped in the box. Yeah. So they traded my soul to get free or some shit. So they would never have to go to hell or whatever. I don't know, some weird shit like that. Anyways, according to the biblical account found mainly in 1 Samuel, Saul was chosen king of both by the judge Samuel and by public acclamation. Saul was similar to the charismatic judges who preceded him in the role of governing. Or I could be Saul in the Bible, okay? So let's see. What is Saul known for? Military victories. Okay, yeah, basically. Why the fuck you lie, Saul? Anyway, Saul told me he was hell, y'all. Maybe that's why I told myself from hell. So y'all, I'm Saul in the Bible. Okay, so let's begin. So what am I known for as Saul? Military victories. True. I told y'all I ain't no killer for real. I mean, yeah, I did assassinate a couple motherfuckers, but that was my job, that was my duty, and they was evil. Okay, they were demons. So really, I never really killed nobody. Anyways, after relieving the siege of Jabesh Gilead, Saul conducts military campaigns against the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Erwin Rehab, and the kings of Zobah, the Philistines, and the Amalekites. A biblical summary states that wherever he turns, he was victorious. Wherever he turned, he was victorious. It ain't lying. Is Saul and Paul the same person? In Acts 13:9, Saul is called Paul for the first time on the island of Cyprus. See, that's probably why I'm like, I told you I'm on the black and white board, I'm on the hamster wheel, and I'm in the black hole and all the other areas in hell. And right now I'm in the area where I'm making a machine. I'm making the machine for them. Is that who was telling me this stuff, y'all? So I'm thinking like hell was named Saul actually. But anyway. Saul is called Paul for the first time on the island of Cyprus, much later than the time of his conversion. The author of Luke Acts indicates that the names were interchangeable. Saul, who also is called Paul, he refers to him as Paul through the reminders of Acts. Okay, who was Saul before he became Paul in the Bible? See, because I made the drink Paul my son. Okay, anyway, let's see. Who was Saul before he became Paul in the Bible? Before conversion. Before his conversion, Paul was known as Saul and was a Pharisee of the Pharisees. See, I knew what they were doing. Who intensely prosecuted the followers of Jesus. Okay. The people that used to expose, yeah, okay. Now they trying to get right with the real God, the Most High and shit. And I'm like, look here, some of them not. I think they still do it. They still told the traffickers where I lived at though, but they not involved. Okay, some weird shit like that. I guess they got loose about the devil or some shit. Anyway, not the point though. I don't give a fuck about them. Anyway, what did Saul do to offend God? Remind students that Saul had seriously offended God by obeying his commandments. See, I did that. Because of his sin, Saul had lost the companionship of the Holy Ghost. Shanice. I realized me and Shanice was to be tight back in the day, okay? I guess you could call her my best friend, but I don't know about all that. But she did lose to live with me and Michael though. You know, we were back in middle school, high school and shit, you know, and we went to LE together. Anyways, because of his sin, Saul had, and felt troubled by an evil influence that was not of God, okay? Yes, I did, okay? Gina and Shanice and them, the whole coat, okay? Why did Saul, I mean, yeah, you can still say God if you want to, because I know I do. But me and him, we know each other though. Okay? If you don't know the real one, then you don't say God, okay? Until you get to know the real him. Okay, anyways. Why did Saul change his identity? See, I changed my identity. Not really though, but they changed my identity. But you know. And he finds himself on the other side of the law, he develops a new persona. The criminal lawyer Saul Goodman. See, I am a lawyer and a judge. Identity change is often catalyzed by trauma. See, I ain't read this. In his case, coming to terms with his losses. He is the last McGill left, and his unique skill sets cannot be monetized, can't be monetized in the ligaments world. Okay, whatever that means. I guess in the new world that's coming. What did Saul do in the Bible? Saul was similar to the charismatic judges who preceded him in the role of governing. His chief contribution, however, was to defend Israel against his many enemies, especially the Philistines. Okay, I'm guessing probably why they kept me around for so long. And when I get Philistines, I think about my grandmother, because her name was Phyllis. I mean, they changed, we all had to change our name. So her name change was Phyllis, okay? So, you know, and Caroline Bryant hated my motherfucking grandma, bitch. She, like, it, you know. Anyways, who was Saul in the Bible? Saul, as told in the Bible, was the original ruler of the kingdom of Israel in Judah. His reign is historically set in the late 17th century BC, and designated a development from a tribal society to statehood. That's why people in this generation don't really know me like they should, okay? They should get to know the real me, though. I mean, I'm still the same person, though. I just, I don't know. Saul was chosen by the prophet Samuel and ruled from Gibeah. He fell on his blade, committing suicide. See, I did try to commit suicide a lot of times to evade capture in the fight versus the Philistines at Mount Gibeah. I ain't gonna lie, I was stressed. Doing which 3 of his sons was also murdered. Who? The next ruler of his throne was challenged by Ishbosheth, his only surviving son, and his son-in-law David. I guess, who Artemis won control. Okay? So there's some Bible verses about me. 1 Samuel 9:2. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a handsome young man. There was not a man among the people of Israel more handsome than he. From his shoulders upward, he was taller than any of his people. Okay? I guess you could say I was a man, you know what I'm saying? Because I was doing men shit, okay? I wasn't no woman that's just there. I mean, I did that shit too, though. I mean, I was doing both, okay? I was doing the men role and the woman role, okay? I would cook, clean, take care of my motherfucking kids, and then go to motherfucking work like a man, okay? They don't like that. A woman's supposed to stay in her motherfucking place, but I'm not finna stay in my place, okay? I want to work too. 1 Timothy 5:8. But if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he had denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. See? Even my own, all the women in my lineage worked. Okay, we never sat on our ass. Okay, we always worked. Okay, we always took care of our husbands. We always took care of our families. Okay, and then we worked. Okay, we always did that. We could clean all this shit. Okay, we took care of our bodies, our hair, and all that shit. Okay, anyways, Acts 9:1-6. But Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. Now, as he went on his way, he approached the marquis, and suddenly a light from heaven shone around him. And falling to the ground, he heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And he said, Who are you, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus whom you are persecuting. See, I do that sometimes, not really though. Because people keep saying Kia, not my daughter and stuff. But you can even ask some of my homegirls that live in Arkansas that Jasmine Guillotine did have pictures of Kia and Ken on her page and was saying she was the mother, you know. So that kind of like fuck a bitch mind up, you know. And I remember I told you she broke into the house one time and breastfeeds Ken. But that can fuck up a mother mind sometimes, especially when you just came back and you You still trying to remember some shit? Okay. But rising into the city, yes, I do know she's my baby, okay? I know she's my baby. And you'll be told what you are to do. She looks like me. 1 Samuel 13:11 through 14. I, Saul, lived for 1 year and then became king. And when he reigned for 2 years over Israel, Saul chose 3,000 men of Israel. 2,000 were with Saul in Mishmash in the hill country of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Geba of Benjamin. The rest of the people he sent home, every man to his tent. Jonathan defeated the garrison of the Philistines that was at Zebra, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. And all Israel heard it said that Saul had defeated the garrison of the Philistines, and also that Israel had become a stench to the Philistines. And the people was called out to join Saul at Gilgal. And the Philistines mustered to fight with Israel 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen and troops, like the sand on the seashore in multitude. They came up and encamped in Michmash to the east of Bethlehem. When the men of Israel saw that they was in trouble, for the people was hard pressed, the people hid themselves in caves and in holes and in rocks and in tombs and in cisterns. And some Hebrews crossed the fords of the Jordan to the land of to the land of Gad and Gilead. Saul was still at Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. He waited 7 days, the time appointed by Samuel. But Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and the people were scattering from him. So Saul said, Bring the burnt offering here to me, and the peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. As soon as he had finished offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. And Saul went out to meet him and greet him. Well, my baby mama told me that, but by kid, but still, okay, she's still my homegirl. Samuel said, What have you done? And Saul said, When I saw that the people were scattering from me, and that you did not come within the days appointed, and that the Philistines had mustered at Michmash, I said, Now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought the favor of the Lord. So I forced myself and offered the burnt offering. And Samuel, see, that means killing yourself, okay? So I forced myself, I killed myself, and offered the burnt offering. Okay, I don't know what that means, though. But, Michael did, Michael, Jah, and the demons in the box, they did untie my ass down, and Michael walked me all the way from my house from Wood to all the way to St. Michael's. Okay, that was a long ass walk. Okay, anyways, and Sam, he burnt or whatever, and Samuel watched torment, okay? And Samuel said to Saul, You have done foolishly. You have not kept the command of the Lord your God which he commanded you. For then the Lord which had established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart, and the Lord has commanded him to be a prince over his peoples, because you have not kept what the Lord commanded you. And Samuel arose and went up to from Gilgal. The rest of the people went up after Saul to meet the army. Yes, all my kids seen me commit suicide, y'all. They went Tay. Then when I really met, when I met Tay, he came and took all my kids to his house or whatever. Anyways, they went up from Gilgal to Gibeah of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people who were present with him about 600 men. And Saul and Jonathan his son and the people who were present within stayed in Gibeah of Benjamin. But the Philistines encamped in Michmash. And raiders came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. One company turned towards Oprah to the land of Shira. Yes, my grandmother is Oprah. Okay. Yeah, my hand. Okay. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. What was I? Turned towards Beth Horon, and another company turned towards the border that looked down on the valley of Zebon towards the wilderness. Now there was no blacksmiths to be found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, Lest the Hebrews make themselves swords of spears. But every one of the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen his plowshare, his matlock, his axe, or his sickle. And the charge was 2/3 of a shekel for the plowshares and for the mattocks, and 1/3 of a shekel for sharpening the axes and for setting the goads. See, I'm supposed to be building the fucking machine. See, that's basically what it's saying. So on the day of the battle, there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people with Saul. See, exactly. We lose guns around this bitch. You gonna see my people with motherfucking guns. All type of guns. AKs, rifles, shit. Any gun, bitch. Alright. You better get y'all one. Okay. Or come to me. Found in the hand of any of the people with Saul and Jonathan. But Saul and Jonathan, his son, had them. 23, and the garrison of the Philistines went out to the pass of Michmash. Yeah, all my kids, all my little kids, they already taking gun lessons, okay? Anyways, 1 Samuel 18, 1-30. As soon as he finished speaking to Saul, the Saul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him and gave it to David, and his armor, and even his sword, and his bow, and his belt. And David went out and was successful whatever Saul sent out, so that Saul set him over the men of war. And it was good in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. Okay, they're not my servants, okay, thank you. And they were coming home when David returned from striking down to the Philistines. The women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, which that do happen, with timbalines, with songs of joy, yeah, and with musical instruments. And the women sang to one another as they celebrated. Saul had struck down his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very angry, and this saying displeased him. He said, "They have ascribed to David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed thousands, and what more can he have but the kingdom?" And Saul eyed David from that day on. The next day, a harmful spirit from God rushed upon Saul, and he raved within his house while David was playing the lyre, as he did day by day. Saul had his spear in his hand, and Saul hurled the spear, for he thought, "I will pin David to the wall." But David invaded him twice. See, Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him. He had departed from Saul. See, I told y'all, a video is like a mirror, right? Okay, then. See, I, but when I do my when I do my stuff, my celebrity shit, I be losing the Lord. I be losing the real God camera up there in heaven, the paradise. I be losing his camera. But on these regular phones and stuff, no. Okay, no. Okay. The Most High do my videos. That's why my shit be sheep. I mean, it don't be sheep though. I mean, it don't be sheep. As you can see, we'll see what I'm doing right now, don't you? Okay, Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him, but had departed from Saul. So Saul removed him from his presence and made him a commander of a thousand, no? And he went out and came in before the people. And David had success in all his undertakings, for the Lord was with him. And when Saul saw that he had great success, he stood in fearful awe of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, for he went out and came in before them. Then Saul said to David, "Here is my elder daughter Merab. I will give her to you for a wife. Only be valiant for me and fight the Lord's battles." For Saul thought, "Let not my hand be against him, but let the hand of Philistines be against him." And David said to Saul, "Who am I, and who are my relatives? My father's clan in Israel. See, that I should be son-in-law to the king." Yeah, I do remember them now. I do remember them. I mean, I remember my dad too, but I remember him as being my favorite rapper. Okay, not my dad. Okay, my mom, we won't talk about that. But I do love her videos though. Who am I and who are my relatives? Okay, at the time when Marwa, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David. See, that's by Kia right there. Kia, you Merab in the book. Should have been given to David, or that's your machine. She was given to Adriel, Adriel, the Melechite, for a wife. Okay, now Saul's daughter Michal loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Saul thought, let me give her to him, that she may be a snare for him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Therefore Saul said to David a second time, you shall now be my son-in-law. 22. And Saul commanded his servants, speak to David in private and say, behold, the king has delight in you, and all his servants love you. Now then became the king's son-in-law. And Saul's servant spoke those words in the ears of David. And David said, does it seem to you a little thing to become the king's son-in-law, since I am a poor man and have no reputation? Or you can look at David as Michael, because Michael did play David in the movie Never Die Alone. But I really feel like it's about a video. Okay? And the servants of Saul told him, thus and so did David speak. Then Saul said, thus shall you say to David, the king desires no bride price except 100 foreskins of the Philistines. Okay, them dead penises right there. That he may be that he may be avenged of the king's enemies. Now Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. Before the time had expired, David arose and went along with his men, and killed 200 of the Philistines. And David bought their foreskins, which were given in full number to the kings, that he may become the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him his daughter Michal, Michal, for a wife. It's Michal. I'm going to say Michael, you're right. But when Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him, Saul was even more afraid of David. So Saul, oh damn, y'all can see that. Okay, so Saul was David's enemies continually. My hands tired, y'all. Then the commanders of the Philistines came out to battle, and as often as they come out, David had more success than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was highly esteemed. Okay. Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 68, Lord Jesus. And if you faithfully obey the voice of the Lord your God, being careful to do all his commandments that I command you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. And all the blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle. Okay. The increase of your herds, and the young of your flock. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. Okay. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. The Lord will command the blessings on you in your barns and in all of that you undertake. I guess y'all can, but I don't know, y'all be honest. I don't know, we gonna see. Y'all try, but don't, you try. I don't know, don't put me in it though. And he will bless you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. The Lord will establish you as a people holy to himself, as he has sworn to you. If you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways, and all the peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. And the Lord will make you abound in prosperity in the fruit of your womb, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground, within the land that the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. The Lord will open to you his good treasury, the heavens. Yeah, don't do that, y'all. Don't pray for this over yourself or over me. Okay, don't do it. To give the rain to the land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. Okay. No, I decline. Okay. I'm only doing, God know, the real one know why I'm doing this for, okay? And you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. I'm not borrowing shit, okay? Thank you. And the Lord will make you the head and not the tail, and you shall only go up and not down, if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God. Thank y'all. Thank you, demons. Thank you. They know that, okay? They know that. Thank you, Most High, for explaining it right to them, okay? And the Lord will make you the head and not the tail, and you shall only go up and not down. If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, being careful to do them, and if you do not turn aside from any of the words that I command you today, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But if you will not obey the voice of the Lord your God, or be careful to do all his commandments and his statutes that I command you today, then all of the curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Okay? See, I'm not doing it. I don't want that. Okay? Thank you. Cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. Cursed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Cursed shall be the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your ground, the increase of your herbs and the young of your flock. Cursed shall you be when you come in, and cursed shall you be when you go out. See what I'm saying, y'all? See. But I'm smart with this shit, though. I'm smart. Yeah, I got a brain. I got common sense in this bitch, okay? The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and frustration, and all that you undertake to do. So they probably why they do this. Okay, they probably why they do this. Okay, let's see. Until you are destroyed and perish quickly on account of the evil of your deeds, because you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the persistent stick to you until he has consumed you off the land that you are entering to take possession of it. The Lord will strike you with wasting disease and with fever, inflammation, and fiery heat, and with droughts and with blight and with mildew. Probably I got that in my. Probably we all got that, y'all, because I don't know. I think they trying to see, and I'm like them. No, they shall pursue you until you perish. And the heavens over your head shall be bronze, and the earth under you shall be iron. The Lord will make the rain of your land powder. From heaven dust shall come down on you until you are destroyed. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And you shall be a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. See what I tell y'all. And your dead body shall be food for all birds of the air and for the beasts of the earth. And there shall be no one to frighten them away. They done fucked up, y'all. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt, see, and with tumors and scabs in each, of which you cannot be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness and blindness and confusion of mind, and you shall grope at noonday as the blind grope in darkness, and you shall not prosper in your ways. And you shall be only oppressed and robbed continually, and there shall be no one to help you. 30. You shall betroth a wife, but another man shall ravish her. You shall build a house, but you shall not dwell in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but you shall not enjoy its fruits. Your ox shall be slaughtered before your eyes, but you shall not eat any of it. Your donkey shall be seized before your face, but shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, but there shall be no one to help you. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, while your eyes look on and fill with longing for them all day long. But you shall be helpless. A nation that you have not known shall eat up the fruit of your ground and all of your labors, and you shall be only oppressed and crushed continually, so that you are driven mad by the sights that your eyes see. The Lord will strike you on the knees and on the legs with grievous boils, of which you cannot be healed. See, they passing that shit to me, y'all, or to the chickens or something. From the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. The Lord will bring you and your king whom you set over you to a nation that neither you nor your fathers have known. And there you shall serve other gods of wood and stone. And you shall become a horror, a proverb and byword among all the peoples where the Lord will lead you away. I'm going to read Proverbs soon. I know Proverbs is a woman, so we're going to see. You shall carry much seed into the field and shall gather in little, for the locust shall consume it. You shall plant vineyards and dress them, but you shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. You shall have olive trees throughout all your territory, but you shall not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olive shall drop off. You shall father sons and daughters, but they shall not be yours, for they shall go into captivity. See what I'm saying about Jasmine and my babies? The cricket shall possess all your trees and the fruit of your ground. The sojourner who is among you shall rise higher and higher above you, and you shall come down lower and lower. He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. All these curses shall come upon you and pursue you and overtake you till you are the sword, because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes that he commanded you. They shall be a sign and a wonder against you and your offspring forever, because you did not serve the Lord your God with joyfulness and gladness of heart, because of the abundance of all things. Therefore you shall serve your enemies, whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger and thirst, in nakedness and lacking everything. Yeah, they did not read this, okay? And he will put a yoke of iron on your neck until he had destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from the end of the earth, swooping down like the eagle, a nation whose language you do not understand. 50, a hard-faced nation who shall not respect the old or show mercy to the young, okay? It shall eat the offspring of your cattle and the fruit of your ground until you are destroyed. It also shall not leave you grain, wine, or oil. The incense, the increase of your herds, or the young of your flock, until they had caused you to perish. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna have kids until I'm 200. Ooh, yes. They shall beside you in all your towns until you to your high and fortified walls in which you trusted. Come down throughout all your land, and they shall beside you in all your towns throughout all your land, which the Lord your God has given you. And you shall eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you. No. In the seas and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you, the man who is the most tender and refined among you will begrudge food to his brother, to the wife he embraces, and to the last of the children who he had left, so that he will not give to any of them any of the flesh of his children whom he is eating, because he had nothing else left in the siege and in distress with which your enemies shall distress you in all your towns. Okay. The most tender and refined woman among you, who will now venture to set the sole of her feet on the ground, because she is delicate and tender, will begrudge to the husband she embraces, to her son and her daughter, her afterbirth that comes out from between her feet. See, told you about the afterbirth, and her children whom she bears. Because lacking everything, she will eat them secretly in the siege and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you in your towns. If you are not careful to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear the glorious and awesome name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will bring on you and your offspring extraordinary afflictions severe and lasting, and sickness grievous and lasting. And he will bring upon you again all the diseases of Egypt, of which you were afraid. Oh, see, look at that. And they shall cling to you. I ain't let that bitch eat in Egypt. Anyway, every sickness, I did her dirty in Egypt. I ain't gonna care. Every sickness also and every affliction that is not recorded in the book of this law, the Lord will bring upon you until you are destroyed. Where you are as numerous as the stars of heaven, you shall be left few in number, because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God. And as the Lord took delight in doing you good and multiplying you, so the Lord will take delight in bringing ruin upon you and destroying you. And you shall be plucked off the land that you are entering to take possession of it. Okay? And the Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your fathers have known. And among these nations you shall find no respite, and there shall be no resting place for the sole of your foot. But the Lord will give you there a trembling heart and failing eyes and a languishing soul. Your life shall hang in doubt before you. Night and day you shall be in dread and have no assurance all of your life. In the morning you shall say, if only it was evening, And in the evening you shall say, if only it was morning, because of the dread that your heart shall feel, and the sights that your eyes shall see. And the Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt, a journey that I promised that you should never make again. And there you shall offer yourself for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. See? Okay? Leviticus 26, 1 through 46. You shall not make idols for yourself or erect an image or pillar, and you shall not set up a figure stone in your land to bow down to it. For I am the Lord your God. See, you see, even so she not really the God, motherfucker. Like she like a worker. So Summer Hall, bitch, aka fake Cardi B, bitch, she lying. You lying, bitch. You ain't y'all is workers, okay? Anyways, the real one, he don't got nobody. I thought the universe was, but hell, he is the universe. Shit, I don't know. He said he gonna explain it to y'all, okay? And you shall not set up a figure stone in your land to bow down to it, for I am the Lord your God. You shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If you walk in my statutes and I observe my commandments and do them, then I will give you your rains in their season, and the land shall yield its increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. Your dressing shall last to the time of the group harvest, and the grape harvest shall last to the time for sowing. And you shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land securely. I will give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will remove harmful beasts from the land, and the sword shall not go through your land. You shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall chase 10,000. See that pyramid scheme shit. And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. I will turn to you and make you fruitful, and multiply you will confirm my covenant with you. You shall eat old store long kept, and you shall clear out the old to make way for the new. I will make my dwelling among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your God, and you shall be my people. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that you should not be their slaves. And I have broken the bars of your yoke, and made you walk erect. But if you would not listen to me, and would not do all these commandments, boy, if you spurn my statutes, and if your soul abhor my rules, so that you would not do all my commandments, but break my covenant, then I will do this to you. I will visit you with panic, with racing disease and fever that consume the eyes, and make the heart ache. And you shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemy shall eat it. Yeah, like my subscribers say, shut the fuck up. You making me throw off balance. Okay, I will set my face against you, and you shall be struck down before your enemies. Those who hate you shall rule over you, and you shall flee when none pursues you. See, and if she's not supposed to be touching them. The chosen one not be touching them. And in the spite of this, you will not listen to me, then I will discipline you again sevenfold for your sins. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heavens like iron, and your earth like bronze. And your strength shall be spent in vain. For your land shall not yield its increase, and the trees of the land shall not yield their fruit. See? Then, if you walk contrary to me and will not listen to me, I will continue striking you sevenfold for your sins. And I will let loose the wild beasts against you, which shall bereave you of your children, and destroy your livestock, and make you few in number, so that your roads shall be deserted. And if by this discipline you are not turned to me, but walk contrary to me, then I also will walk contrary to you. And I myself will strike you sevenfold for your sins. And see, and I think Saul is hell, to be honest. And I will bring a sword upon you that shall execute vengeance for the covenant, or the devil, whatever it is. And if you gather within your cities, I will send pestilence among you, and you shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. When I break your supply of bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in a single oven, and shall dole out your bread again by weights, and you shall eat and not be satisfied. See? Okay? That's some Jeeba Creeper shit, okay? Um, But if in spite of this you will not listen to me, but walk contrary to me, then I will walk, can I read that? Contrary to you in fury, and I myself will discipline you sevenfold for your sins. You shall eat the flesh of your sons, and you shall eat the flesh of your daughters. And I will destroy your high places, and cut down your incense altars, and cast your dead bodies upon the dead bodies of your idols. And my soul will abhor you, and I will lay your cities waste, and will make you sanctified, dislocated, and I will not smell your pleasing aromas. And I myself will devastate in the land, so that your enemies who settle in shall be appalled at it. And I will scatter you among the nations, and I will unsheath the sword after you, and your land shall be desolation, and your city shall be a waste. Then the land shall enjoy its Sabbaths as long as it lies desolate. While you are in the enemy's land, then the land shall rest and enjoy its Sabbaths. As long as it lies desolate, it shall have rest. The rest that it did not have on your Sabbath when you were dwelling in it. And as for those of you who are left, I will send faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies. The sound of a driven leaf shall put them to flight, and they shall flee as one flees from the sword, and they shall fall when none pursues. They shall stumble over one another as it escape a sword through more pursuits. And you shall have no power to stand before your enemies, and you shall perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies shall eat you away. And those of you who are left shall rot away in your enemies' land because of their iniquities, and also because of the iniquities of their fathers, they shall rot away like them. But if they confess their iniquities, I'm hearing too late, and the iniquities of their fathers and their treacheries that they committed against me, and also in walking contrary to me, so that I walked contrary to them and brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised heart is humbled, and they make amends for their iniquities, then I remember my covenant with Jacob, and I remember my covenant with Isaac, and my covenant with Abraham, and I remember the land. But the land shall be abandoned by them, and enjoy its Sabbaths, while it lies desolate without them. And they shall make amends for their iniquities, because they spawned my rules, and their souls are hard my statutes. Yet for all that, when they were in the land of their enemies, I will not spurn them, neither will I hurt them so as to destroy them utterly and break my covenant with them. For I'm hearing it being broken. For I am the Lord their God, but I will for their sake remember the covenant with their forefathers. No, I'm not fucking these demons in the box, okay? Trust me, I'm not. You will know. Whom I brought out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the nations, that I might be their God. I am the Lord. These are the statutes and rules and laws that the Lord made between himself and the people of Israel through Moses on Mount Sinai. Okay, a couple more minutes. 1 Samuel 15:21-25. And Samuel said to Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now therefore listen to the words of the Lord. Thus say the Lord of hosts, I have noted that Amalek did this to Israel in opposing them on the way. Opposing them on the way. When they came up out of Egypt, now go and strike Amalek and devote to destruction all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. I do that shit. So Saul summoned the people and numbered them in Telam, 200,000 men on foot and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to the city of Amalek and lay in wait in the valley. Then Saul said to the Kenites, Go depart, go down from among the Amalekites. Yes, I destroyed you with them, for you showed kindness to all the people of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites, and Saul defeated the Amalekites from Havah as far as Shur, which is east of Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of Amalekites, alive and devoted to destruction to all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spread Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen and all the fattened calves and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. Oh my God, all they were despised and worthless, they devoted to destruction. Okay. The word of the Lord came to Samuel. I regret that I have made Saul king, for he had turned back from following me and has not performed my commandments. And Samuel was angry, and he cried to the Lord all night. And Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, and it was told Samuel, Saul came to Carmel. And behold, he set up a mountain for himself, and turned and passed it on, and went down to Gilgal. Yeah, I am on the bush mountain. Okay. Okay, what I say? Okay, and Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, Blessed be you to the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What then is this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen that I hear? Saul said, They have bought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice to the Lord your God, and the rest we had devoted to destruction. Then Samuel said to Saul, Stop. I will tell you what the Lord said to me this night. And he speak to me, and he speak to him. Speak, okay? Part 2 in a minute. Okay? I ain't got enough minutes. So part 2. I finna say something. Yeah. What's his name? Ed Graham did come to me. Anyways, it's not a point though. The whole fucking point is, I'll be back.